Peace and blessings to everyone that's viewing right now. As I stated before, we're going into our playlist and we're dealing with anxiety and stress and unplugging in the garden. And right now, I want to share with you about a time when I had a panic attack in the middle of traffic on my way to work one morning.
Grow, eco neighbor, grow, 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 eco neighbor, grow, 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 eco neighbor, grow, 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 eco neighbor.
It was an everyday morning. I remember it. It's not like this only happened once in my life, but one thing about it, when you have anxiety, when you have panic attacks, you remember them. You remember the situations. You always kind of evaluate what happened, what went wrong, what started it. But I want to walk you through what happened that morning. I woke up that morning, everything was normal. I've been going a lot, been pretty active, a lot going on at my job, a lot going on after work. I've just been going. Really hadn't had no panic attacks. Panic attacks for me, sometimes it's a series of them and sometimes it's like happens like out of the blue. But when I go back and I reevaluate what could have allowed it to happen, I remember some things and some warning signs that maybe I could have reduced the risk of them happening. But sometimes it has nothing to do with that. It's just my body. Typically when my body is tired or I'm overworked or my mind can't rest or I haven't gotten a proper rest or my diet or my lifestyle is not great and I've been doing that for a continuous process, then stress is soon to happen. Stressful things and panic attacks probably will happen. But that morning I woke up. I normally get to work at that time about 7:30, and I always try to get to work a little bit before that 8 o'clock rush. I got up that morning. I felt a little rush. I felt a little like I couldn't quite get everything right, and I just kept adjusting, but no matter what I did, it's something, either I'm getting ready to leave something or I grab a shirt out the closet and it's missing a button or it got a stain on it. So it was something that wasn't quite right, but I felt rushed. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that, but some of you all who have suffered anxiety or panic attacks, you will understand what I mean by I felt this little rush, sense of rush. But I got in my car, I got everything together. I was going to work, my normal route, normal routine. But it seems like every single traffic light, I was catching the red light and I was the first vehicle stopped at the red light. And it was probably about one or two traffic lights where I stopped. I felt a little panicky, you know what I'm saying? I felt a little stressed. And I got to the main thoroughfare and there was the main highway, large highway, maybe 3-4 lanes. And once again, stopped at the traffic light, hit the traffic light. I was the first car. I had a big cement mixer on the side of me. I had some school buses because it was school down to the left of the road, and then I had traffic all behind me and on the side. And all of a sudden, I'm grabbing the steering wheel and my heart is just pumping. Like I could feel my heartbeat. And then I could just feel the adrenaline just going inside of me. And one thing about adrenaline, I don't know if you ever understand, my doctor that evaluated me, they said that I have adrenaline issues. Like adrenaline goes back to way back in the days before we had guards, where we lived with nature. We live with earth, and we went out in forests, or we just went and gathered berries and all kinds of vegetables and herbs. But we would walk through, whether it was jungle or whether it was the forest, and all of a sudden it would be either a bear or a lion that would come out. And the adrenaline is there to get us going and to get us to protect ourselves. The adrenaline is there to get you pumped and ready to go. And the whole idea with that brain just kicks out that chemical that creates that adrenaline is that you get up and you move, and you got to burn that energy off. But when I have an activity of my brain, I could be sitting and my adrenaline feel like I need to get up and run and just go. And so that helps me understand the process, and we'll get into some of the strategies and some of the things that I do to get through those situations. Because if you're going through anxiety attacks or stressful moments, it don't just leave, but it kind of pulsates. You got highs and you got lows. But I was sitting there at the traffic light, and I'm sitting there gripping the steering wheel, and I just feel afraid. I feel like the air just got so heavy. It's like I was breathing in, the air molecules became cotton balls. And I'm like, I'm actually telling myself, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, get it together, get it together. And I'm like, I'm just tense. And I know the traffic light is getting ready to change. I know that cars are behind me, the cement mixer is turning, and it's all these things popping in my head, and I'm trying to get to work on time. And that's all that brain activity just moving. And all of a sudden I get panicked, like I gotta get out of this car. And I have the brakes pressed, and I feel like I may blank out. I feel like I may just fall out. Thing about panic attacks, it always make you feel like you about to go. This is my last breath I'm gonna take. And that's what's so scary about it. And then it gets everything else to keep moving. So I went and put my car in park, and I said, I don't know if I can make it. And I opened up the car, I got out the car because I felt like I couldn't breathe inside the car. And I tried to play it off. I went around, checked my tail light, and at that time, the turning light started going and cars started moving next to me. And I felt like I couldn't get back in that car. And all of a sudden I got back in the car and I put my hazard lights on because I was frozen. I couldn't do anything. I'm just breathing, trying to work on breathing. Breathe, don't fall out, breathe. And your head is pounding, and you feel like you can't swallow, and you don't know what to do. You just tense. Everything is just tense. Everything is just tense, and the heart rate, the pulse rate is just going. You feel it. You feel your heart beating in your chest. Your chest get tight, and you just not quite sure what to do. And here it is, the light finally changes, and I get back out the car, and the people behind me, they blowing, people turning around, cutting around. This one lady, she stopped, she said, "Are you okay? Everything's okay?" And I said, "No, I'm not okay. I'm not all right." She said, "Do you need me to call 911? And I said, "Yeah, I need some help." I was shaking, literally just shaking. And then, once again, panic attacks. It's high intensity, and then it calms down a little while. It's still, you hurting, you still have the pain, you still got a raised heart rate, but you feel like you got somewhat piece of composure. And that's the key. You have those ups and you down, and when you have those down, that's when you calm yourself down. That's the piece where you work on your breathing. You work on relaxing. You tell yourself mentally, "I'm okay. There's no need to be afraid. I'm all right." And at that split moment, I said, "I think I'm okay." And I got back in my car, I put it in drive, and I parked in the nearest parking lot that I possibly could park at. And my heart was racing and I just sunk in my seat. I just sat back in my seat and I sat there in my car, and I'm like, I can't go no further. I can't go to work. I don't need to call in because I got so much going on. I got so many things I got to do. And I'm running late, but I feel like I can't get myself together. So I pick up the phone, I'm shaking, I'm trying to catch my breath. I pick up my phone and I call my wife. And I said, she knew something was wrong when I called her first thing that morning after leaving. She said, are you okay? I said, no, I'm having a panic attack. I'm real stressed out and I don't think I can go in to work. I need you to come get me. I feel like I can't drive no further. And she stayed on the phone with me and she just talked to me, because you gotta have somebody in your life if you're going through stress, you're going through anxiety, whether they're really a human being or whether it's a comforting pillow or a comforting sound or recording, music. You gotta have something that you gotta go to. And my go-to is always the Creator and my family, my wife, Gigi, my kids. They all know that I suffer with this. And all of them have come to my rescue at different times. And it's sometimes you don't have anybody. Sometimes I call and no one answers the phone. So what do? And why am I saying all of this? Because we're talking about gardening and what the gardening have to do with any of this. My question is, after you have come down from an anxiety attack, you're exhausted, you're drained, you're aching, and you're still afraid. You're afraid that this might happen again. You're afraid that the next time this might happen, you might not make it. And so you're left with the emptiness and you left with being vulnerable. I mean, as a man, it was hard for me years ago, and I share my journey of how this all started, but being vulnerable. You know, the man like to always be like, I got this, I'm the protector, I got this. But some things you don't have. Some things you have to control what you can control. Some things you have to understand you need help. Some things you need resources. You know, you need guidance. So I want to share with you right now a strategy that I do to recover from an anxiety attack and how it connects with the garden. The reason why I bust my behind out here in this yard is for those days after I had a stress or anxiety attack, or for those days when I say, okay, I'm running a little bit, now I need to unplug, unwind. You know, in this day-to-day world, so many things are just going. Do you really take the time out for yourself? Do you really take the time out to do nothing? To think about nothing? Do you even know how? Because it's a challenge for me. And sometimes I'm good at it and sometimes I'm not. But take the time to create downtime. Take the time to create peace. Take the time to build a place in your garden where you get a comfortable chair, you get a perfect spot, and you decompress, and you rest, and you rejuvenate your mind, your spirit, your soul, and you allow all those negative, stressful energies to just escape your body. You let it radiate from your body. To calm myself down, I have to sit relax, and think of absolutely nothing, and just observe. Just look. Some people say, hey, I can't eat flowers. What's the point of me growing flowers? Some people say, well, flowers, it costs too much work. Flowers, for me, it helps me mentally. Seeing something beautiful and amazing and that's unique, and every flower is totally different, even though you may have the same variety of flowers. To sit back and get me a spot and just sit there and just gaze upon the beauty of what the Creator has given us to observe, and just think about, this was a thought that's now created. To me, that is a way of unplugging from the day-to-day routine. Taking the time to go. This is the tip for this whole video. Take the time to incorporate some good, comfortable seating in your garden. Take your time and even invest in it. It may be a little bit more, but invest in some good, comfortable seating. And matter of fact, make that seating where it's not so permanent. Have that seating where it's mobile, and make sure that seating is not where you're sitting just straight, but have that seating where it forces you to sit back and relax. Forces you to sit back and take it all in. To sit back and look up at the sky. Or to sit back and look at your plants. It forces you to just relax. Because it's fine that you can go and you can do a lot of different things, but what's important at the end of the day is that you take care of yourself and your mental health. So the tip for the day is incorporate some comfortable seating in your life, in your garden. Whether your garden is on a patio, whether it's indoors, whether it's out in the garden, or even if you go to a park or take a nature walk, incorporate some time where you can just sit and decompress and release all of those stressful energies in your life. Don't worry about the bills. Don't worry about deadlines. Don't worry about responding to no one. Don't worry about the phone. Don't worry about the emails. Don't worry about what you have to do, the things you need to do. And even when you're in your garden, don't sit in your garden with the mind perspective like, man, I need to rake. Boy, I need to cut. I need to trim that. No, it's perfect. Everything is perfect. Everything is beautiful. Just relax and just decompress and just unwind and take your time and take slow, deep breaths. Sometimes close your eyes, sometimes open your eyes. Depends on where you're located. Sometimes get up early in the morning before everybody else get to moving and smell that fresh air in the morning. Or wait till at night and sit down and relax and just unwind and just let it go. And just let whatever stress, whatever worry you, just let it go. So y'all be well, be blessed, and whatever you do, make sure you keep on growing. Grow.